Good morning, beautiful people. You guys will be getting this video on February 28th, 2003. I want to apologize to everybody because I haven't been releasing these. I got caught up with some things. I tried to make some stuff work. Financial issue, all kinds of stuff was happening. But I will be on time with these videos. And because I'm full time now with content, music, etc., I'll be dropping two of these probably a week. So without further ado, let's get right into the story. The story we're going to talk about today is the first time I got scammed out of money. Yeah, this was an interesting story because this happened. I want to say it was 2014 summer. So gotta give you the full context as usual. So I'm on Millersville campus. We have training camp. Training camp started, I think, the beginning of August. So I ended up, I didn't have the best spring ball. Remember, my father just died in December of 2013. Spring ball was like the top of February 2014. Bottom of, I think, top of February 2014. So I'm still dealing with that. So I didn't have the best spring ball. But regardless of that, I was always a guy who was, get extra work, and I'm still that guy. Do extra work, come early, leave late. That's the kind of guy I've always been. That's never changed. So, anyway, I stay up here for the summer. I decided to take one class, and if I'm not mistaken, I probably took Dr. Garcia's class, Race and Film, I think. I'm almost sure I did. I'm not too sure, but I think I did. But if I didn't, I'm wrong, but I'm almost sure I did. And at the time, they were allowing football players to stay on campus. They were allowing us to stay on campus in the dorms if we were taking a class. So, I was staying in, I'm trying to remember. I don't even know. That might have been Hobbs Hall. I don't remember what hall it was, but I was here. I was on campus. And so, my roommate at the time was my homeboy Remington. Big country dude. He was on the football team as well. So we kicking it together. Jay Hurt, my homeboy Jay, he was next door. So we were all in close proximity. But we were all broke. And I mean broke. This was disgusting because we all were young adults. But to be as broke as we were didn't make sense. And now that I look back at hindsight, it makes me think about how broke the other young adults were when I was a kid. Damn, we were broke. We were disgustingly broke. So much so that guys were losing weight. I mean, mad guys were losing weight. We're trying to get food at the dining halls, but the food there was limited because it was summertime. And we just didn't know of all the resources later. But I'll get to that part later. So we were starving. So we would go to what they call the upper deck, and we would get food, and we would take some of the food home, stash some of the food away, try to eat on it for maybe a couple days. But man, it was tough. It was hard. Now, fortunately, I knew I had a check coming because my father was in the military, and if I'm taking a class, then I get paid. I got paid. You get paid. I think if you're full time, obviously you got the most money. But because I was only part time, I got part time. I got maybe $700. I got probably $700. More than half of that had to go to rent back in Philly because at this point I'm paying rent. Because my father's gone now, so I'm paying half the rent. So I think half that went to rent. Some of it went to other bills, and I probably only had maybe $100 or $200 to juggle with. I think. I'm not sure. But neither here or there. So after that happens, I think I had, and I'm trying to think of what happened to that. Okay, so this is what happened. So I had probably $100 or something bucks. My auntie and my big sister sent me some money, so that probably pushed me up to I think maybe $150 or something like that. But I just needed enough money to get me through that semester. Because I was coming back home at the end of that summer semester, I believe. Yeah, I was coming back home. So I was going to be back home maybe because the semester ends in May. I was going to be back home at the end of July. No, at the end of June. I'm going to be back home at like the end of June. So I just needed to survive June. And me now, again, it sounds crazy now when I think back on it. Because if I had just did a couple things differently, this story would have never happened. Would have never happened. So anyway, I was like, dang, $100 for a whole month on my own ain't a lot. So this is my thought process, which is true. I said, how can I do this? So I start looking up for loans. I start Googling loans. Man, I ain't got no credit history. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just Googling different places to get a quick loan. That's what I'm thinking is, how can I get a quick loan? A loan for $1,000. Granted, I'm glad it didn't happen, because if I did get that loan, I would have not paid it back. I probably would still owe it to this day. So fortunately, it never worked out that way. But I'm Googling different loans. And when you Google loans and everything like that, you have to put like your social security number down, your phone number down. And there's a lot of scams online, a lot of scams. So I'm Googling loans and everything like that. And all of a sudden, I start getting phone calls from these random numbers. And I'm getting phone calls, and I'm checking, and it's like different numbers and different area codes, but it's like the same voice. Like the same voice. Like, and I'm like, it's the same. I feel like it was the same guy, but I couldn't prove it. I just know it's the same goddamn voice. So I'm getting numbers. I'm like, dude, like, what's up? And they're like, hey, you've been approved for $1,000. Like, what? So I'm excited now. I'm like, if I get $1,000, that's more than enough for me for 4 weeks, right? So we go ahead, we do that. I'm on the phone with a bunch of them, and one of them hit me up one time and said, hey, we have another loan for $1,000. Okay, cool. So this is me being young and naive and not knowing no better. They tell me go get a green dot card from Rite Aid or CVS. Put the money on the green dot card and then read them the number off. And the reason I'm doing this is to show them that is to provide proof that I can pay the loan back. This was not, the more I talk about this, the dumber I feel. But it's a necessary story. It's a lesson I went through. Whatever. So I go get the green dot card. They say we need you to put $100 on this green dot card. Okay, I do that. I read the number out, and guess what happens? The phone hangs up. Yep. So I got the green dot card, put the money on the green dot card, called them, gave them the numbers on the back of the green dot card, and as soon as I did that, they hung up the phone. So now I'm pissed. Now I'm upset. I'm pissed. I'm frustrated. I want to fight. I'm pissed off. But I'm so like prideful in that is that I don't want to tell nobody I just got ripped off for all this money. Damn sure I don't want to tell my folks back home I got ripped off for that money. Right? I don't want to tell them either. So, I kind of take the L quietly. And I was thinking about all the things I could do with that money, all the bills I could catch up on. I even called my girl at the time who I was with. I even called her and said, hey, if there's anything you want me to get for you, little stuff like that. I was excited. And here I am ripped off. $100 and something cheap broker than I was before. And I barely had anything before. So, long story short, after that happens, I get another phone call from a random number from wherever. And the guy on the phone said, hey, you've qualified for such and such and such. And the accent that this guy had, he sounded like, I don't want to sound racist or anything like that at all. But it sounded like he sounded like a guy like that works at the gas station in Philly. Like he sounded like he was like I'm not even sure of the race. I think it was Indian. I think he was faking an Indian accent, because I don't even think that was his real voice, if I'm being honest. I think he was faking an Indian accent. So he says, he says that, and I snap. I said, dude, you just stole from me, duh. Like, I know it was you. Like, when I see you, I'm blah 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 blah. It's things you can't say on here on YouTube. He says, what? That wasn't me. And then he hangs up the phone. Okay, whatever. But now, you know what happens? All of a sudden, I start getting phone calls saying I owe money, and if I don't call them, they're going to take me to jail. At this point, you already took $100 from me. I'm broke. I'm a Philly dude. I'm pissed. Come take me to jail then. Like, that's where I'm at. Come take me to jail. Do whatever you're going to do at this point. Because if I catch you, I'm going to do something to you. That's where I was at mentally. So, long story short, I stopped answering those numbers. I blocked the numbers. Didn't get no more phone calls. But the moral of the story is, number one, there was a damn food pantry probably 6 minutes from my dorm. 6 minutes from my dorm, man. And the food pantry was primarily made to help Millersville students because they realized that a lot of Millersville students were poor. We were homeless. We didn't have some of us were homeless. A lot of us didn't have money to eat. And then on top of that, there's 2 grocery stores in the same direction. That if I could get a ride or something like that, or even hop in a taxi, there was like 2 grocery stores. 2 on the same road. Maybe like 10 minutes apart. So had I had asked around and not been so, private about it, or trying to hide the struggle I was going through, I would have never had to ask for no damn loan. I'd have never had to do that. It'd have been there. The food was there. So, moral of the story is, don't think you know everything. Matter of fact, it's best to assume that you know as little as possible. Because if you know as little as possible, you're more likely to ask questions and ask for help. I have a unique upbringing because I was raised to believe I was the oldest kid. I'm the second baby. There's three other kids on my dad's side, and there's another kid on my mom's side ahead of me. My younger brother's the only sibling I have younger than me. If he wasn't born, it'd be me. I'd be the youngest. So on my dad's side, I'm the second baby. On my mom's side, I'm the second baby. So it doesn't make any sense. But I was raised thinking I was the oldest, so I got accustomed to trying to muscle my way through problems instead of asking for help. So long story short, people, ask for help. Don't get scammed out of money like me. Any of these get rich quick schemes, and there's always a lot of them on college campuses. We're like the most gullible. Don't go for none of it. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So you're killing nonsense, man. But thank you guys for tuning in. I may drop another one of these on Friday, but that should be glad I got this one done because it needed to get done. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day. Awesome day. Be blessed. Stay hungry. Stay humble. And when I say stay humble, that just means willing to learn. And, be ready for the next one because I'm going to keep pumping these out. Hopefully you guys can get something from them. Learn the lesson I learned in them. Or maybe you'll learn a different lesson in it that can help you out even more. So, like I said, peace and blessings to everybody. Have an awesome day. Thank you. Jack is out.